So welcome to the call. This is Geek Out Friday, and it is September 22nd. And I'm your host, Damon Nelson, along with my partner, Wayne Atkinson, and I'd like to thank you for being here today. And today is going to be a little geeky in the fact that we're showing you some of our tools and we're letting you see some of our websites. I say letting. Normally, the sites that we're showing are demo sites that some people may knock off or choose not to even view. But today, we're showing you a couple of our money sites that are, they're AdSense sites and they're ad display sites, but we're turning them around, and we'll talk about that as we get into it. So, the main topic today is how do you take an RSS feed and convert it into original content? Now, I'll tell you a little story. Is we wanted to do this about 3 years ago. When Wayne and I got together, we thought, hey, this would be great is if we could do something different with RSS feeds that nobody's ever done, is take the URL, scrape the URL, completely rewrite the article and put new pictures in it and all that. And we've had mild success using Word AI, Spin Rewriter to achieve that. We've been able to scrape the article, and over time we kind of put that aside and started working on other tools. But then AI came out, OpenAI, Chat, and Jasper, and everything else, and the ability to do this became available again. And we talked about this for a long time as we're thinking about building AiMasher. And the whole point of AiMasher is it is a publishing tool. It is an AI publishing tool first. Second, it's an AI rewriter. And we're hoping to join with some other APIs that are rewrites like authored intelligence. We do integrate a semi-integration with ZimWriter in that you can import articles and you can also use the keyword masher. We built the keyword masher specifically to go into ZimWriter. ZimWriter does a great job of writing articles, but we need a way to publish. And recently we've done Midjourney and we've done some other things that improve the quality of the content coming out of ZimWriter. But with the kind of the thing that was in the background that you may not have seen, or you may have seen parts of it, but you didn't realize it's coming, is we are very close. In fact, I'm going to show you two sites that are already doing it, is rewriting RSS feeds to completely brand new content. I don't know of anybody doing it right now. I'm sure there's going to be some people copying what we're doing, but we're going back to the original source and rewriting, or we're rewriting from the content of an RSS feed itself. So you get your choices. And like all our tools is you can kind of configure it any way you want. So that's kind of what we're going to show you today is we're still finding a few bugs in there, but we've really coming full circle is we really have gotten to the point where we can take a feed and create custom content with it. So that's what we want you to keep in mind throughout this entire webinar. And we're going to be doing several more webinars about this. In fact, we may even do a Facebook group mastermind session, because it really is, to me, this is how news is going to be kind of written in the future. There will be seed content, and then AIs will take the seed content and rewrite it into a news article. It's at its very first stages of AI news reporting, but it's going to get better over probably the next 6 months to 2 years. Is you're going to see news articles that are completely generated by AI, and they actually read better than journalists. So let's get started with this. Okay. So the content marketing goal that we had with this is to do Google News sites with completely original news articles. So this is how we're going to get fresh news articles rewritten with AI automatically. We're crafting, these one-of-a-kind news stories by using RSSMasher and AiMasher together. It's a very innovative approach, and it gives you the flexibility to do a lot of different things from RSS feeds. We even use Feedly to G Sheets method, which we'll may talk about near the end of the call. But even doing YouTube descriptions, to rewrite YouTube descriptions and make them into a article post. So a lot of different ways that you can do this if you have a good AI rewriting system. Okay, so the first thing that we'll talk about today, now, if you've never been on a call, I'd like to go over the strategy first before we dive into the demo and the screen shares. So this is more of the strategy part, the overview of what we're talking about. Some of you on the call probably don't have AiMasher yet. We have a beta team that's on the call. The beta team is testing all these things that we're putting in place right now. Hopefully they're testing, but we do find errors. And with just Wayne and I testing, sometimes we don't run across these errors. So that's why we need a beta team. The beta team also, when they buy, they get everything we do. They get an agency license with it. And we may go into the different levels at the end of the call if y'all want to. But so the first things first is you got to build a template. You have to build an AI reading and writing template. Very easy to do. You design the template, test the output, save the template, and then you have to add the template into RSSMasher so they talk back and forth. Okay. Once you have the template, then you can go back to RSSMasher, and you probably won't ever visit AiMasher again if you're using these templates back and forth. Okay. So how's it done inside of RSSMasher? What I'm going to show you is you go into the mash. You're going to add your feeds like you normally do. This is perfect for guys that already have a bunch of RSS feeds out there and they want to convert them. Okay. Select the template. On the same website feed, you're also going to select whether you want to use your RSS content or a URL scrape. And I'll show you on the next slide kind of the differences between the two of them. Then you want to mash. And what we mean by mash is put your add-ons, put your money hooks, your anchor text replacement. There's a lot of different things that you can do in RSSMasher. We feel like this is the premium way to take a bunch of content, mash it all together, and then publish it. So we're going to show you how we're doing that. But first and foremost, you have to write the article. So we convert the article over with these templates. Then we come back to the mash, pick up all the information that you had on the mash, and then build your final article. We do this automatically. So there's only a couple steps that you'll do, step 1, 2, and 3, basically. Okay, and then you have to add it to a schedule. If you've already got a schedule, it's going to completely work. So there's a lot, I'm sure there's a lot of people on the call that can take right now their RSS feeds, and once they have templates, just completely convert them over. Okay. Wayne, just feel free to interrupt me as I go through here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's talk about there's two types of information you can rewrite. The first is RSS content. That is the content that is being syndicated across the RSS feed networks, okay? It's what's found in the actual feed post itself. Here's the pros about using the content. You get to use all the images in the RSS post itself. There may be 10 to 15 images, and you can use every one of them. In fact, the AI tool will use them based on the settings you have in AiMasher, okay? You don't need scrape out for this because we're pulling the content straight off the feed. Now, the caveat to it, the con, is it may require some removal of content from the HTML itself, taking out some advertisements, some citations, some, I guess, internal linking that they do inside of RSS posts, okay? You can remove them with the advanced tab. This show is not about using the advanced tab, although we're probably going to do that in the mastermind if we do a Facebook group with it, okay? I'm going to show you a trick on how to do this where you can look at whether you want to scrape it or whether you want to use the advanced tab. And I don't like using the advanced tab. I'm not very good at it. Lane is super at it. So he does this all the time. You don't have to, if you find the right feeds, you don't even need to do the advanced tab. Okay. URL scrape. This is where we're going to take the actual URL from the feed post. So all RSS feeds have a URL that they're talking about to create a feed post. This goes back to the original content to do a URL scrape. We are using your scrape out API license inside of AiMasher. Okay. So when the feed comes across, it's going to have a title, a link, and content and description. But if you're using this, all we're going to use is the actual URL itself. Okay. The pros about this, there's no work on your part. You just turn on the URL. We'll scrape it based on your template. We're going to scrape it, rewrite it, and add any extra features that you want, such as audio or Mid-Journey or anything like that. Okay. The cons. Because we're scraping the original article, these articles, if you go to any website that has blog posts, they're going to have ads. They're going to have other featured image or other links or posts that have images with it down at the bottom, maybe on the right-hand sidebar. Scrape Out doesn't know the differences between these images, between an advertisement, another blog post image that's on the original content, or even some emojis. It's going to scrape everything, okay? So you may get back 20 images. Which one is the best? Which ones belong to that blog post? We don't know. Automation doesn't know. We're going to make an assumption that the first image is going to be the image associated with the article. So we're going to save that first image and we're going to scrap the rest of them in this URL scrape. Okay. Then you have the ability to add a Mid-Journey image. So at the same time that we're scraping on this, we'll build you a Mid-Journey image that looks absolutely incredible. Okay. Now it's all based on credits, and we'll talk about this later. So this is the easy way to do it, but it isn't necessarily, I say, the best way to get the images and the actual. You'll see in what we're doing is sometimes the scrape and the summary and everything that we're doing is not bringing over the flavor of the article. Whereas if we're coming off of an RSS feed post, sometimes we get the flavor of the article and it reads a little bit better. This is completely up to you in testing. You need to test all this. It's very easy to do this once you have your template set up. Okay, so how do you test? You could test one feed at a time. So you would set up your mash. You only run one of all your RSS feeds through at a time, or I'm going to show you a different method using 5 feeds. Okay. You need to ask this. These are the things that we evaluate when we're building a mash with an RSS feed. Does the feed have post content? An RSS feed has two things. It has two text blocks. It has a description and a content. Content is usually where they put the blog post content straight off the blog. Okay. A description is usually a summary, a meta description, but some RSS feeds will put the entire article in the description box. And at that point in time, we've got tools in RSSMasher to convert description to content, but RSS feeds are not consistent. So we're going to look at this as we're testing and building. Okay. In RSS feed posts, a lot of them, especially the ones that are doing full post, they will put ads in there. They'll put anchor text links. They'll put citation links down at the bottom. They'll put all types of other content in there besides the content of the post itself. Can these ads be removed easily? Okay, if they can, through the advanced tab, very easy to take them out. Okay, what is the frequency of posts? I've got some really good RSS feeds inside of RSSMasher that you can choose from, but they may only post once a month. So those are not going to be very good for you if you're building a new site and you want 4 to 5 posts a day. So there's some ways to find out how many posts are coming through. The easiest way is to actually pull up the RSS feed and just look at the dates. Okay. Citations. Do you put a citation back to the original source? Guys, this is completely your call right here. If you're doing a mid-journey image, we will give you the option to do a citation back to the original source. Okay. You may even want to put an original source down at the bottom of your rewritten content. It is completely up to you on how you do that. If you're rewriting it, what I would suggest, if you're going to do a citation back, is say, this article was inspired by, and then put the citation. Okay. So if somebody comes in and says, well, you're using my article to rewrite through AI, which, in a year, 2 years down the road, somebody may do that. But if you have a citation source back, it may give you a little leeway because you're building the link back to their original site. So these are things that you're going to have to ask yourself when you're building this. Okay. So demo time. Wayne, anything before we start?
No, not really. I'm sure I'll be coming in and out as you're going along.
Okay. I'm going to bring over my browser, and we're going to look at RSSMasher and AiMasher. Okay. So if you've never seen AiMasher, this is our very powerful tool to rewrite content. It's also, we use keyword masher, niche ideas to develop ideas and content to go over to ZimWriter and Article Forge. We use Article Publisher to actually publish articles from ZimWriter, adding media enhancements. We'll put media packs inside your article. We'll put it as featured images. We'll also add related videos in there. And now we've got mid-journey. So you can actually do mid-journey images as a featured image or in post images. Okay. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this one thing right here, Article Reinventor. This is what you're going to be using to go back and forth between AiMasher and RSSMasher. Once you have these templates, this is the magic one. Once you have the templates set up, then you'll go over to RSSMasher, go into integrations, and I'll just go into AiMasher, come down here, get Reinventor templates. So as you add more templates, you're going to have to just come over here and make sure they're connected up. This is the connection right here. Once they're in here, then you can use them inside your mash. Okay. So let's take a look at, before we get into templates, let's take a look at some of the sites that we're building right now. And this is a brand new site I'm building out. This is a news site, Daily Metro News. I started it yesterday evening, and I've got a few articles already coming over. This is mid-journey, is rewriting or putting new images in here, but the articles are completely rewritten also. So this is about Sarah Rafferty. I don't even know what news site it came from. It's probably BuzzFeed or one of those. Very short article. Mid-journey rewrote the image or redid the image. And you can see some of the other ones here. This is a reboot about Parker. I guess it was Jason Stratham. Very short article. This is a Roger Ebert review, but we completely rewrote it using AI tools. Okay. Let's see, go into business. I'll just pull up the business one here. Cryptocurrencies. There's our mid-journey. In fact, I took out all the other images in here. So this is just kind of a very, very short article. But once I load this up, I'll have anywhere from 20 to 50 articles a day coming into this site, from RSS feeds, from YouTube descriptions that we'll be rewriting, and also from Feedly. And of course, we'll be putting our own ads in here, Ad Display Network, and our Google AdSense. But you can see this is a brand new site, just getting started. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've already been doing in testing. This is a Zox news theme. This is one of, I guess, Wayne's oldest. We had, how many articles have you posted on this site here?
Oh God. 65,000 probably.
So what happened to this is like a lot of our news sites happened is back in November and December of last year when helpful content updates came out. A lot of these RSS sites that are just, in fact, Wayne, how much work have you put in the last year before we did AiMasher on this site to get that?
Nothing.
So you set it up once, you've let it run for a few years now. In fact, this was one of our very first RSSMasher sites.
Yeah, I refreshed it about 2 years ago, I think, with a new theme. Spent a bit of time on getting it looking nice, and then that was it.
But within the last 30 days or 60 days, these are all rewritten articles, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Probably the last, because we started doing it about 6 to 8 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. So since we started doing this, what we've seen is we had such a dip in traffic on these news sites, on these RSS news sites, that it went from 1,000+ visitors a day down to less than 100 visitors a day, down to less than 10 visitors a day. So when you have good traffic, you make good revenue, or you make affiliate revenue, you make AdSense income. But when you get down to 10 people a day visiting your site, you don't make a lot of money. So what we've done by doing this is Google is seeing this as original content. It's still a Google News site, but now it's original content. We've seen an increase in traffic on these sites that we're using as rewrites. Up to 100 to 200 people a day are coming back to these sites to actually read and they're very easy to read. These are all completely rewritten. Now, this is the font style that we're using on Zox. You can change it so it's not so big, but it's very easy to read, very short snippets of everything. Let's see what the Ring Girl has to say. Now, we're not doing any mid-journey images. We're using the very first image of a scrape. Now, Wayne, are you doing a scrape on this one, or are you doing RSS content?
RSS content. The articles are actually in the feeds.
Okay. So that's why you have multiple images in here.
Yeah, sometimes you get 3 or 4 images as well, because I've basically I've got rid of what I don't want, and it keeps the images when it goes over to AiMasher, and then it puts them back in afterwards.
And this is a good one right here about Mike Tyson. When the images go back in, are they in the same place as when they came out, when they were in the article?
Kind of, but the article's different because we rewrote it.
Okay. So it's very close to the same area. Okay. Let's look at, here's Top Golfer here. So you see, these are really easy to do. Now, once you set up with AiMasher and you got the templates all running, how much work have you done after you set it up?
Nothing.
So you had the RSS feeds, you changed the template, and then you just kept it running because his schedule's already set up, the mash is already set up, everything was completely set up as RSS feeds. Now we're just doing a rewrite. Very easy.
I went into the mash, the original mash, and told it to use once I got the template I wanted, I told it to use the AiMasher template. So it passes it across to AiMasher. AiMasher does all its clever stuff, which we'll show you in a bit.
Yep.
Then sends it back.
Yeah, yep. This is a Masher site. It's not a WordPress site. Masher sites are our own proprietary site builds. Very easy. We handle the security. We handle the theme sets. You can choose from about 5 different theme sets that you can use. Very, very easy to set up. And now this one, he's rewriting RSS feeds, but he's putting mid-journey images using our mid-journey tool. He's got to share this. These are very easy to set up inside of Masher sites. And you notice they're short articles. This is kind of what you would use for social clickbait. Okay. Good article, good title, get them in here, and then you'll have, we haven't even monetized this one yet. This is so new. Here's the Prime Minister stands firm against wealthy critics. Very, very short article. This is the way that people are reading now, okay? So we're keeping it short, very short paragraphs in here. And
it's also based on the template and the rewrite option that we chose, because it's written in a TMZ kind of way.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is this has, there's a good image in there. Okay.
You'll see the image underneath the Midjourney one. That's actually an image that was in the original feed.
Yep. Courtesy. And this is what we were talking about, the citation, the image citation coming back across. Okay. So you can see it's doable right now, is creating news articles from other.
In fact, those two articles you just clicked on, the Xbox and the Prime Minister, they've just dropped in.
Oh yeah, yeah. These are,
because the last one was, because you'll see that the last one was the guy from the football, the EA FC 24.
Yeah.
So that those two have just dropped in while we were talking.
Yeah. And there's the article right there. Courtesy. That's our citation. Here's some bullet points about the times that the soccer show is going to be on. Yep. And this one, save your UT game in the next. I don't know. That may not be part of the article. We'd have to check that. So right now on our scrape is we're trying to get rid of all the ads and all the other referenced content internally. So occasionally you'll see something come across that has really nothing to do with the article, like save your UT coins for the next promo. This was probably an ad that we may need to pick up and remove.
But it's still, if you go back down and you see that it's actually about the EAFC 24 night Mad Ready promo.
Yeah.
And if you scroll up, that's what this article's about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, things like that, sometimes we can go into RSSMasher and use the advanced if you're using content, and you can set up a rule to just get rid of it.
Or if you're really sneaky about it, if they're promoting a PlayStation game or something like that, use a pretty link or link whisper or an anchor text link to link to an Amazon product of the same name. So a pretty link, you could say, I want all EAFC 24. I want to link, anytime it mentions that, I want to link it to an Amazon affiliate product that is the PlayStation version of this EA game. So keep that in mind, is if they're using promotions, you can also do that inside your WordPress or your Masher site. Okay. So we looked at both of those. So how are these made? Well, I'm going to show you with the template first. Let's get I'm in Article Reinventor. In fact, let's go into Article Reinventor. I'm going to show you some templates. So all these have names and they're very customizable to however you want them to name it. But we're giving you a suggested naming nomenclature. So I'm going to hit edit. What DOK means, Damon's OpenAI key. Very simple. 4, we're putting this in, but right now you have to just manually type that in. This is the version of ChatGPT that we're using to do the rewrite. I'm using a Fox News. I'm also going to summarize it to 100 words. I'm not doing any audio, but I am doing a Midjourney photorealism. This is the style. Now I've actually typed that in myself. So you can change this title, but this title is passed through to RSSMasher, so you can use it in your templates. Okay. So let's hit, and let's look at this one. Okay. So I've got a couple of people that I use on 11 Voices that I really like. There's Dorothy and there's Rachel. Okay. And Dorothy, both of these are 11 Labs. They're really good narration voices, especially for like TMZ type of articles. So I'm just going to go into this one. So, you know, this is the OpenAI key, and you may have multiple OpenAI keys. That's why we have them labeled. We're going to do a rewrite in the style of TMZ. Okay. If you've ever watched TMZ, very short paragraphs, very, I'd say link bait, clickbait style of reading. Okay. Very short, just to get you to read the ads on the same page. Okay. And they put a lot of ads on these TMZ pages. We're going to use GPT-4 as the rewrite model. You got your choices in here. Okay. And I'm going to summarize it to 100 words. Now, once I do that, I'm going to summarize it with GPT-4. And I'm going to use Dorothy. I've got a whole bunch of choices in here. I'm going to use Dorothy to read the article itself. Okay. Now, with Zox, I'm finding that it's not transferring the audio. We're going to get that fixed later today. But we have, I'll show you a website that has voiceover in it on the WordPress templates. This is, Wayne, can you bring up that one, the history one? In fact, I can find it real quick.
Second works.
Seconds away. Okay.
It's a Masher site.
Seconds away.co.uk.
Yeah.
And this is Matthew McConaughey reading these?
Yeah.
Okay.
Conor McGregor has announced his plans for a trilogy fight with Nate Diaz following their historic rivalry.
Okay. So we put this in either your WordPress or your Masher site at the very top, and we host the recording so you don't have to worry about file size or anything like that. Then here is this is a rewritten article that comes in from AiMasher. I think it's probably TMZ style. Yep. And so we've got the images in here. We've got the citations. We've got a voiceover. This is really a nice way to actually get this information out to readers. Yeah. So anyway, go back here. So if you want to put a voiceover, that's how you do it. Continue. And we put this toggle in here so you can continue without audio. If you run out of credits, you don't want everything to stop. So check that box, continue making these templates, even if I don't have any audio credits. So we're going to check that for you. Include images. If you do that, it's going to include if it's a URL scrape, it's going to include that very first image. If it is a content that you're sending from RSS feed, it's going to include all the images that you send over from the RSS feed. So I always check that. Do you want a mid-journey? If you want a mid-journey, you're going to click right here, and then you're going to see in the style of. You don't have to use this. If you're not using this, it's going to be it's as good as Mid-Journey can do with like a photorealistic background. I mean, photorealistic picture with like a diffused blurred background. Okay, so that's our standard. But you can come in and put in any style that you want right here. You want pop art, you want pixel art. If you want to see some other ones, we'll give you a little link. And we found this yesterday. Thought we'd put this at 50 best Mid-Journey style prompts. So you can see what they are: Art Deco, abstract. If you want to use any of these here, just copy halftone and then paste it in. So this gives you the flexibility to stylize your news site. I like this mid-century modern. So I put that in there. So I would put mid-century modern. I'd copy that, paste it in there. And then I put this note. We're going to have this note auto-populating for you probably by tomorrow. And that way, when you save the template, it's going to look like this.
Can you just re-edit that one? Because you missed your N off the end.
Oh, which one was it? Yeah, 33. Okay, what did I miss?
Oh, it's there. Yeah. The other thing, while you're in there, sorry, you haven't used the cleanup prompt, I noticed.
This is.
Oh, there is one there. That probably wasn't the one you just edited.
No, so you can do it. You can have a cleanup prompt in there, or you can skip a cleanup.
The cleanup prompt is useful because it'll go through and it'll try and get rid of things that are left behind that were a link to something else, and it gets rid of footer information as well. That's the one.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Adrian and Walt.
Yeah, there's no N on the modern.
Yeah.
In the box at the top.
Cool.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't copy that. Okay.
So when it's scraped, it'll sometimes pick up. Let's say you pick something from Fox News, and then right at the bottom there'll be this article was by so and so, and it's also related to, and there's quite a bit of junk there. So we've written a really, really clever prompt that goes through and goes, oh, I don't think that's part of the article, and it gets rid of it for you. So it's quite worth running the cleanup prompt, I think, all the time.
Yeah. And Peter asked a good question. Matt's added the ability to summarize a bunch of URLs in bulk writer. Might be a nice source of content to use, make new articles. We're going to use that summary for something else. You could actually use that, but I don't think it summarizes to the point to give you the flavor and style of the original article. It summarizes in kind of bullet points. So maybe you could. We haven't tried it yet, but we're thinking about that summary to actually build little bitty citational posts. And we'll talk about this later. We haven't even tested this idea, but there are news articles that have that, and I wouldn't say like booster pages, but they are news sites that the article post itself is no more than 3 to 4 sentences. It's a title with a great image, and all it is clickbait. So it's a fancy title, nice image, and 3 to 4 sentences. That's where that summary might come in, is these little citation posts. And you could build a ton of blog articles just on that. And then what you do is you syndicate it to the social networks. This is what gets syndicated to Twitter-X or whatever it is, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, as to pull people into your site. We'll be testing this later. It's nothing that we're going to do right now, but I did like what he did with the summary. It's a cool new feature. Okay, so continuing on, we've got our template built. Now let's go over to RSS Feeds. We're in RSSMasher, and I'm going to just go in, and we changed something, so I'm just going to go back into AiMasher. Come back down here, get reinventor templates again. You can see the 37, it changed. Well,
you didn't update it. Go back to AiMasher.
Oh, I need to update it, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Now
you can refresh the template.
Okay. Before I do that, let's make one from scratch. Okay. Here's if you're not familiar with the templates, the first couple of times, use this. Okay. Start with no templates. And I'm going to pull a URL from, I'll just type in here, just to have something to talk about, best golfer. Okay, there's a CBS Sports. Let's come down here. Here's PGA Tour, 20 greatest golfers of all times. There we go. Okay. This has content. It's got stuff in here we want to get rid of. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Greg Norman, it's got a list. Actually, that's a very long article. I'll start with that. Okay, you got a table there. That's probably not a good one. When you get a URL, I could probably use.
Go to Fox News or something and just.
Okay, that's better. Fox News. Fox News breaking news. Okay, here we go. Let's find an article. Okay, here's an article. So I use an article in here just to test it. And there's an ad going off at the same time. Okay, there's the article. Okay, you see scrape out, that we're using scrape out. We scraped all the images in here. Okay, and you can do this individually if you want just to take a URL and completely rewrite it. It pulls the text. If you'll notice, redistributed, broadcast, I mean, you got all the disclaimers in here. It's pulling all the text out of it, okay? Now I'm going to use my OpenAI key. I'm going to clean up the prompt. This is the only one that we have in the dropdown. We may add some more later, but it's going to try to remove the ads. Okay. So I'm going to do, this is going to be a cleanup template. So it will go through here and we'll take out what it believes may be ads or maybe image citations.
Yeah, see those capital letters? Guaranteed they were a hyperlink to another article.
Yep. You get down and click here. This is hopefully going to be removed. Click here to get the Fox News app.
And right at the bottom, there's bound to be footer information about it. There you go.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the cleaned one, it's pretty amazing, to be fair. All those capital letter hyperlink things have gone. All the junk at the top and all the junk at the bottom's gone.
So we have to do this first to get a clean copy. And it looks like it put and I'll give them credit here.
Or you can take that out yourself now if you want to.
Yeah, you can edit that out if you want to do that. Well, I mean, we're just doing this to make a template here. Rewrite Fox News. Now, we have different styles, and we're going to be adding more styles. We're going to have a Wall Street Journal style in here that is a little bit longer, gets into a little bit more specifics. We'll have probably an ESPN style in here, but we're going to rewrite this. We're going to write it in the form of a Guardian, a little bit longer style, a little bit, I guess the wording is a little bit higher grade level on the Kincaid index. And you got your choices in here. Now, if you're running a whole bunch of articles through here, you may want to use this. It's going to be a little bit cheaper. We are not at the same cost structure as ZimWriter because we're only sending 2 or 3 sets of tokens through, not 57 tokens to write an article. Okay. So it is cheaper. It may be pennies or maybe a nickel or dime to run GPT-4. This is going to be less than probably 2 or 3 cents. We're building and I'll show you up here.
Open it in a new tab, you'll lose where you are.
Yeah. So we're building an estimated cost of expenditures. So you can kind of look at it and go, okay, from 823 to now, this is not really accurate because we didn't start counting until last week.
It does a month for you. So every time you look at it, it defaults to a month.
Oh, okay.
But you can put what date you want to.
So you can come down here and it looks like we've spent 250 items. I guess the filter doesn't work up here yet.
Yeah, it does.
From 920 to 920. Since we spent $7.86.
Oh, you've still got 21 in there.
I know. That's why I'm saying the filter. Oh, yeah, it's 920 to 922. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And we are running, this may be a little misleading, is we're running articles also that we're building inside using our content engine. But you can kind of see these are like less than a penny to do any of the cleanups, the summaries. This was actually 5 cents to write a summary from GPT-4. So you can look at your cost estimates to get an idea of how much it costs, but you're not going to be spending probably any more than 10 cents a piece, okay, to do a complete rewrite of an article using GPT-4. But you can get it down to probably less than 2 or 3 cents an article just using the Turbo 16K model. Okay. Go back over here. Okay. So we cleaned it up. Now we're going to come down. We're going to rewrite. Let's put in here just to make it faster. We'll just use the Turbo model. Hit rewrite. Now it's going to take
all the demos that you've seen of my sites. Don't use GPT-4 to give you some idea.
Yeah. So if you're looking at anything on sports, sporting excitement or hell of a read, Wayne is using this model. Very, very inexpensive. Okay. So we're going to make some H1s, H2s, paragraphs, and you can kind of see where you'll notice this is the H2s. If you're using 4, you're going to get a little bit better quality H2s, more than just 2 or 3 words. It's kind of what I've noticed. And then it writes a conclusion in there for you, okay? a summary prompt. Now, we did this, and I'm just going to do a Guardian 100 words, and let's do turbo and hit create summary. Now, you see why we're using this as an example is we want to make sure that everything's working in the template. We'll come down here, and there's the summary. Okay. Now, here's the voiceover part. If you got 11 labs integrated, what do you want? What do you want your voice to read? The full article, exclude the subheadings. This is going to get a little pricey. It may be 50 cents to $1, or it's not going to be that. It's going to burn up your credits. So we're at the $20 plan or $22 plan. So we're just going to do a summary article. Now, we're not going to read every single article. I'm going to read certain articles that make sense to me. Is I have a history site, and we read all the articles in the voice of Paul Harvey, but I just read a summary. So how big do you want the summary to be? 200 words or 100 words? This is going to be about less than 30 seconds. 200 words is going to get you up to a minute. Okay. Summary here, probably not enough for a voiceover, but it is enough to do a description that can be passed through to Masher sites. Okay. So now that I have that, now I'm just going to read the summary, and we put it in the voice of maybe Paul Harvey. Okay. You can add your own voices, which we have. Okay. Yeah. So I've got my own voice in here. It doesn't sound very good. I need to re-record it. I've got Ray. Let's see. R.C. Bray. If you're an audiobook reader, you might be familiar with R.C. Bray. Patrick Stewart. Matthew McConaughey right there. Okay. So you choose your voice. Now, you can include images. It's going to try to use the very first image if you're doing a URL scrape. Okay. But in the case of here, if you're just doing one at a time, you can go, I want to use that one, that one, that one, and that one. Well, let's put her in there also. Maybe the Senate in there. Okay, so it's going to build an article with these images for the one-time usage of that template. Okay, now we get down to the very bottom. We got our voice in there. We do a mid-journey, and I'm going to skip the style on this. Image citations. We're going to.
Did you press create audio?
No, not yet. I need to do that first, don't I?
It will create it now, because everything that's happening here is happening now.
Yeah, y'all see how good this is.
There you go. While it's doing that, it'll only put the images in that you request if there's enough text based on your setting parameters for your however many paragraphs you want to skip before you add an image.
A federal court ruling has blocked the Biden administration's restrictions on an upcoming offshore oil and gas lease sale. The ruling, in response to a preliminary injunction request, requires the lease sale to proceed under its original conditions.
What we do there as well is, if you notice, we after every full stop, we do a blind break, and it helps the voice in slowing down a little bit.
Yep. It helps Paul Harvey take a breath in between here. This is kind of his style too. And if you're doing one at a time, add some extra breaks. If you really want to emphasize something, just add a couple extra breaks in there. And then you can, hit create audio, and it will give you a little bit different feel for it. Okay. Now this is one at a time, but at the same time, we're building a template. Okay. So I've got my mid journey. I got my image citations. Now, if we save this article, it's going to go over to my articles inside the article publisher. So I'll just use this other tab, go into article publisher, my articles, and you see it right there. It's sending everything off to Midjourney processing. So if I want to take a look at that right now, I'm just going to come down here and hit edit. I don't want to update anything right now because it's cranking. There's the article. There's the voiceover. This is a code telling us we've sent it off to Midjourney. we're waiting for it to come back. So we're waiting for an image to be replaced in there, but you can actually read the article, very short article. And if you want to, you can add extra images in there.
Just press finish and go to your other tab.
I don't know why it didn't put these images in there.
You might want to save the article. No, I mean, sorry, the template.
Save the template. Okay. So we suggested this right here, and we're going to clean this up. I'm going to use 3.5 turbo 16K. So we're going to have something like that. So, and then down here at the very end, we'll just put in MJ. So if you see the template, you can kind of figure out what the template is and why we need it in this format. Okay. We're doing a cleanup. This is how we're rewriting it. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper than 4. We're using the Guardian. We're going to summarize it, and we're going to put a voiceover. And we're doing a mid-journey. So you can kind of tell everything that the template is based on the name there. I'm going to save as template. Okay. Now, I need to put it over here in RSSMasher. So I'm going to hit Get Reinventor Template. There it is right there. Okay. So I've kind of showed you how to build your templates. I'll go back up here.
Yeah, just to make a note on those images, because you ticked mid-journey, it only put the mid-journey one in.
Oh, okay.
But next week, if you do a manual one like that, it'll put those images in as well underneath.
Okay.
Because it's quite a new thing, isn't it? The mid-journey.
Yeah. We're still.
You'll probably notice, and I apologize, that if you've been logged out of AiMasher, that's how many updates we've been doing. Because it does log you out while you're doing it, but we need to. That's the beauty of being in a beta. That's the one caveat that, unfortunately, when we find a bug, we want to get it fixed and we want to get it over and we want to get new features over. So now and again during this time, you do get logged out a few times.
Yep. And occasionally you'll see where you can't log in. We have it locked because we're doing updates at the time. Okay, so I'm in RSSMasher. Let's get this thing rolling here. I spent too long on templates. Okay, now we're building an article. We're building an RSS feed. And I'm going to go in and show you on an existing feed. I'm going to hit Edit. Okay, I have website feeds. Okay, if you look at this, just as a reader here, here's the RSS feeds. And this is in the business, going to the business section. And here's the reinventor templates I'm using. I'm also telling it to do a URL scrape. So I need a cleanup template since I'm doing a URL scrape, okay? So that's why I'm doing that cleanup template. And you can see I'm using the same template every single time, and I'm doing a mid-journey, mid-century modern, okay? We've added all these different ones in here through our integrations tab. You pick any one of them, okay? But since I'm doing URLs, scraping, I do need to get the cleanup in there. These are all business, so that's why I'm using the Fox News. I'm doing a summary, but I'm not doing an audio with it. I am using GPT-4 on it, okay? So that's kind of the way I've set these up. Once you come over here, then you can hit build and it's going to go over to mid-journey. Now, when you do a build right now, you're going to see it without any mid-journey because we haven't sent it over. We're just showing you the basic setup. Okay.
You won't see anything because you'll see the original articles in the feed if they are there. Okay. Because we obviously it takes time to send it across, to get it to go through all the processes and to send it back. So we can only do that when you click finish and activate, but you can go and do the entire mash with all the bits and pieces that you want so that it looks good with the original article, knowing that when you activate it, it will come back with a rewritten version and then it will go through everything else and inject things like money hooks and anchor text, etc.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back into manage mashes and we're going to create one from scratch. Kind of show you the methodology that we're using. Let's go ahead and make that active. So I've got these two active. fact, let's go in here real quick. I'm going to show you on this one. This is entertainment. So in my research, I've got a few of them that I'm pulling content from. Okay. I got Roger Ebert, and then We Got This Covered movies. The reason is there was nothing to clean up. They were very good RSS posts. I could do a lot of things with it. So as a result, I'm just doing, and these are entertainment movie reviews and stuff like that. I'm doing a TMZ. I'm using GPT-4. I'm doing a summary, and then Rachel's going to read it for me. And the readers are not passing through. We'll get that fixed later today too, or by the weekend. So I've got two. I've got Dorothy and Rachel, Pixar, Mid-Century Modern, and I rotate them in here. And the reason is I want to have a little bit different mid-journeys coming across and different readers. So it sounds like different authors. And again, I'm probably going to come in here on RSSMasher inside the WordPress site itself and add some female authors. And I'll fix that up later. But I know that Dorothy and Rachel will be reading these. Now, on this one, I'm going to do a URL scrape. So let's see what we used here. We used TMZ, and I need to use a scrape with it, or a cleanup. So I'm going to come up here and use this cleanup right here because I'm using URL, and I need to do a cleanup on this one. And the only difference between the two of them was the style of the mid-journeys that I'm using. Okay. But make sure when you're doing URL that you have a cleanup template first. Okay. And then these, you don't need cleanup templates if you're using content. In fact, you don't want a cleanup template. So this gives you the ability to really customize your templates with voiceovers, with the style of the writing. And I would suggest try them all out. If you want a summary and even the different voices that you have in there. Okay. So how do you make these from scratch? What's the workflow that I would use? So we're going to go over that. We'll go back into Manage Mashes, and I'm building a life, business and entertainment for Daily Metro News. I'm going to add a new one. So let's call this fashion. I think I have a fashion in here. Let's see. I've got travel. Okay, so we're going to build a travel. Go into travel and strip out hyperlinks. Yep. Extract articles with images only. Yep. So I'm treating this like a regular RSS feed that I'm going to be using. And let's come down here. I'm going to rotate the articles, one article from each feed. This is the way that I either do the testing. Group articles, I'm going to put them into my new Daily Metro News. Okay. And validate completed HTML. And it looks like, and I'm going to ignore any featured over 100. Okay. So if you've never seen this, this is just your basic setup for how you build these mashes. We go into full detail on how to do this. I think a lot of the people on the call know how to do this already, but we'll keep on going. Okay. Now we're talking about travel sites. The beauty about RSSMasher is you can put in your own RSS feeds, however you find them. We have complete training on how to find RSS feeds. Or if you're kind of like me, maybe you want to start off with, let's just see what we have in inventory for travel. Science, technology, recreation.
There's a lifestyle section.
Yeah, lifestyle, travel. Okay. And each of these niches, we have RSS feeds in here. Some of them are great RSS feeds. Some were great RSS feeds 2 years ago, and now there's nothing in there. They maybe even made them condensed RSS feeds. So you have to kind of look at them just to know what you have before you want to send it anywhere. Okay. So the ones down at the bottom are the more recent ones that we've put in. So I'm just going to grab a few of those down at the bottom. And it puts it in this box, kind of staging it before we push them over. Let's push in. Nomadic Matte is a really good one. He's a travel blogger. And I'll do one more. Let's do traveling lifestyle, life and travel. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to add them over here. Okay, now this is the number of articles we pull every time we go over. You can set it to 1. Okay, this, if you're just testing, you could do this, but I'm going to do it all in one step. I would recommend that you start with just testing 1 at a time. But remember, I talked about you want frequency of post. That's one of the things that's important in RSS feeds. So I'm going to look at it without setting any templates or anything over here because I need to know what to set over here. Okay. So now I'm going to skip all this, but I'm going to come over here because I got to know where they're coming from. I'm going to put hooks. I'm going to put a citation link that I'm going to remove later. I haven't even shown Wayne this method here. Wayne does all the programming. I kind of do all the weird stuff. But we work well together doing it. Okay, so we got the citation in there. We hit update. If you remember, when I set this up, I did 1 article from each feed. So we're going to rotate the feeds that are, and I've selected 5 feeds. I don't know if all 5 feeds are going to work or if they have any good content. Sometimes the RSS feeds have just terrible content, so I want to get rid of those. I don't want to send terrible content to my websites.
Just the more you put in, the longer it'll take.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good.
So when it's quick like that, I know there's not a lot in there. Okay. The Digital Nomad's Guide to Living and Working from a Ski Resort. Hey, this is a great article. Okay. Good image. So let me show you the difference between, this is the RSS feed post title for the post, and the link is built in to go to the actual article itself. So here's the article. It's from gobehere.com. Very, very nice article. It's got some images in there. And so I'm going to look at the blog post. Do I have the same images? So just kind of background. This is the title. This is the RSS feed description. This is usually the shorter part right here. And then he has a reference link of where it came from. Okay. This is the content section. Description is in bold. Content is not bolded. Okay. So this is what we're going to be building off of if you send it over to AiMasher, is this part here, not this part. Okay. So title, content, there's a good image. What to consider. You got some H2s, H3s in here, got some images, and you got written by for Rent Cafe. This post, this Digital Nomad's Guide to Living and Working. Okay, do I want this? Probably, I may want to take it out. So I'll show you how to do that. This is my citation that I put in, so I know where it's coming from. Gobehere.com. Okay, so this looks like a good type of article to put across to AiMasher. How to grow your Instagram in 2023. This is an influencer, a free workshop, bunch of junk. I don't want the junk. I don't even want to spend time on it. So I'm going to come down here. This is one that I'm going to just delete she doesn't have a good RSS feed post. So Helen in between. Come back over here to my website feed. Helen in between. We're just going to delete her post. It's not a properly formatted RSS post. How to travel in Haiti. Okay. Again, title with a link built into the actual article against the compass. Okay. Description, images. This is the content part. Okay. And you can see there's some sections in here. eSIM card for browsing. This is an ad that he's put in here, but he's got a lot of good images in here. Another ad. Okay. Insurance. Okay. It's a long article. A lot of pictures in here. So this is kind of, do you want a long article with a lot of pictures? This is also written in first person. this may be too long an article for what you want to use. I probably wouldn't use it at all. Yeah, I think he spent a couple weeks in Haiti. So against the compass, I'm going to take this guy out. He's very long-winded, it looks like. I don't know what that statue was with the long tongue sticking out. Okay. Best walking tours in Seville. Walks. That's free. Okay. So walking tour, Nomadic Matt. He's a good one. I'm going to keep that. Let's see if book here. Okay. So he's got these little book here's. We've removed the HTML linking in the original setup when we were over here. Strip out feed hyperlinks, but we still see them in here. So I've got to make a decision. Do I want to just completely remove that book here with an advanced tab and send this over, or do I want to just let the URL scrape it? Okay, so I want to keep that one in there. The precious ones, let's see what this is. I want to get rid of that. That's going to be junk. Lifestyle and travel. Not enough content in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of lifestyle and travel. Now, I would probably want to test some other sites in here, but Go Be Here and Nomadic Matt. So I'm going to come back here and this Christmas markets. Let's see. This is Go Be Here, I think. Good images in there. Very good. Wow. This may be the guy that's the long-winded writer. Yep. I don't want to put him in there, so I'm going to skip him. This is another one. Okay. So these two right here, I kind of decided I don't want to do any work. I'm just going to use this. Put URL scrape. And what do I want to do? Go Be Here. These are travel sites, so I'm probably going to use TMZ. And I need a cleanup one. So I've got to clean up that is the Fox News. And I've got to clean up down here, that's the Guardian. So just for this example, I'm going to use cleanup, Fox News, and then I'm going to use cleanup Guardian. Okay. So these are ready to send over, but what I want to do is probably just send one at a time to start with. Okay, I want to see what they come out as. And then I may decide, well, I may want to just use content instead. Okay, so now I come back over here and you notice this right here. When I hit build, it's going to send it to AiMasher.
No, it's not.
It's not until I hit finish and activate.
Correct, because it's much long-winded process. Because you've been hitting build already.
Okay.
So the build will show you what it looks like with the original text and the original images.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure I just have the right ones in there. Okay.
So that way, you can quickly put citations in if you want, put any hyperlinks, any money hooks or whatever.
Yep.
And then when you're happy, then it's going to go and rewrite it all. And then when it sends it back, it will then go back through all the other tabs and add up all the other hooks and things that you wanted in the first place and put them back into the rewritten version.
Yep. Now I'm going to take out that citation. I'm glad you reminded me. I don't need that citation in there. I'll just take that out. Hit update. And come back and hit build again.
And also, because you've told it to do a scrape, you'll only get one image.
So it's going to just pull that very first image.
Yeah.
Okay. So these might be ones that I actually want to go back and use the content, use the advanced tab to fix up so I can keep all those images coming across. Okay. So this is going to take a scrape with image, with Midjourney, and everything. Sometimes it's probably as fast as maybe 10 minutes, and sometimes it's going to be as slow as probably 30 to 60 minutes. It's really based on the loading that we do on Midjourney. Okay. So we got travel built, and it will come across. Now, the other thing I need to do is come over here, and I'm going to create fact, I have some of them in here for Daily Metro News. So I'm just going to clone one of my schedules. And then I'm going to edit that clone one. And we'll put in here travel. Select group, Daily Metro, travel. Okay. I've already got, this is the schedule that I post at every 5 minutes from these times. And hit update. Come down here and I'm going to put it in the right category. So I'm going to put it under travel. And I want to use the first image as featured image. I want to upload all images and then post the content. So you want to make sure these are checked. You may at sometimes, based on your WordPress, you may want to exclude that first image from the post because your WordPress is already putting the featured image as your first image. So if you need to, you can always just turn that on and it will remove that first image from the post. Okay. Number of tags. Create tags with AI. We use our own AI tool to create you some tags and skip all the spinning. We don't want to spin it all. Skip Omega. Now I want to use this to silo. So we're building a silo so it will put a link to the last post in that category, or if there's no post in that category, it will link back up to the category URL. Okay. Now you can use Banner Bear, but the mid journeys are all coming back at 16:9. So you don't really need to use Banner Bear. We hit update and we're set and ready to go. Now, quick view news. This is my own Masher site. I built, so I'm going to come in here and so I put it in the travel section. I'm going to link back to the WordPress, use AI Indexer. This is our own proprietary tool. Hit update and booster pages. Come down here and travel. And let's just put it under maybe travel blogs. I'm going to push it back to WordPress. That link is going to link back to my WordPress site. So I'm building a backlink right here. I'm going to send it to AI Indexer, that booster page link. And then finally, AI Indexer, this is our proprietary indexing tool. I'm going to put it over to travel blogs, push it to WordPress and hit update. Okay. I would turn it on, hit update and finish. So if I like the content that's coming across, I may never even touch these ever again. But occasionally I may want to come in and put some new RSS feeds in there, or I could even put in some content that I find on Feedly or some of these other sources that I'm going to use G Sheets for. So you can do the same with G Sheets. So I'm going to look through, I don't know if I have any G Sheets. I'll just add a new one. Let's see. We call it, now I have some marketing G Sheets. Okay. I don't need to do anything here because it's already cleaned up for me. And I'm going to come down here and we're just going to go ahead and put it back into Daily Metro News.
You could have added it to the same mash that you just did.
I could. I absolutely could. I could put it in the, in fact, I wouldn't have to create the business. In fact, let's just do that. So I'm going to come down here to Daily Metro News, which is now on the next page, and go to business, hit edit. So we're running RSS feeds right here, but I could come over here and go G Sheets, Google account, Ninjas, Google Sheets. And I have a travel blog in there. That's interesting. Okay. As you can see, I have a lot of them in here. Let's do that one. SEO ideas. And you can add multiples in here. So Wayne's built this very clever thing that you can do the same thing over here. I don't want to scrape it. I want to use the content on this one. And the template that I'm going to use is, I want to do a summary. I don't need an audio voice. So I don't need a cleanup. I'm just going to do a Fox News style summary and do a mid-journey photorealism. Okay, so I'm adding this into the build. Click build, and I hit finish and activate. So how do I get them into G Sheets? Well, we have a method called the Feedly to G Sheet method. There's 2 or 3 training sessions on how to do that. I'll hit finish and activate. Don't need that one anymore. I'll just hit delete. So if I'm over here on Feedly, I've set all this up. So when I add it to a board, I do this usually on Friday afternoons, digital marketing. Okay, so I'm looking on digital marketing, and I'm going to look for an article that I want to put into that G Sheet. And the way I do it is how to use screen frog. Let's go down here and find one. Okay, content marketing, AI powered generative search. That's a good one. So once I put it in here, that digital marketing board is going to send it to, our Zapier is setting it in here, waiting for me to put something in there. And I'm going to put it right here. That's the one it actually needs to go into. Like that. So that Zapier is watching for something to go in here. Once it goes into Zapier, it's going to go to G Sheet. Once it hits G Sheet, then RSSMasher is going to pick it up. So this article is going to show up in the website called Daily Metro News, probably in another day. It will show up in the business section, right in this section here. And that's really how easy it is to do. Once you have everything set up, we'll go over this on another call, but you can tag any of these just by moving Ultimate Guide to iframe SEO. Okay. Here we go right here. This is save to board, SEO ideas. Okay, so that one will go over also. And I've got all these in Feedly. I've got like Amazing Hamburger. So I can actually go in Amazing Hamburger, and this is going to go to a website. And again, I would just choose the board. It's recommending the board here. It's going to go to G Sheet, Zapier, G Sheets into RSSMasher. So I would actually go to RSSMasher, and then I need to change the templates for this G Sheet method so that it's actually being rewritten and new images and everything that are being used. This is a little bit more advanced. I told you we're going to get geeky. We're trying to show you a lot of things all at once, but it really narrows down to this right here. When you're inside of here, the thing that you have to do is to run it to AiMasher. You have to decide, am I going to scrape it or do I want to send the original content? If I scrape it, I've got to clean it up with the template. If I'm sending to original content, I don't need to clean it up. I can just go straight into a template and rewrite it. So that's how you get all your content right now that you've already done over to AiMasher, is through templates and deciding URL or content. Okay, I think I'm talked out. I know I've kept y'all for about an hour and a half. Yeah, Wayne, any questions that we can answer?
Steve mentioned something that I have been looking at. He says it would be cool if Midjourney could view an image and then create new ones themed after the same. I have been looking at getting the featured image from the original post and then sending it to Midjourney to describe it. And then if we can get that prompt back, we can then create a new image based on what it thought the original one was. So that's something that we may, because it may use 2 credits to do that, you see. So that's why we've not pushed it out at the moment. We're just basically getting Midjourney scaled and getting everything working well, and then we'll start doing even more clever things with it.
Yep. Now, the cool thing too is when you're in the article reinventor, you've got your templates, they're already made, and you want to come up here and go, okay, I want to build a new article, and we're going to go back over to Fox News. So once you have these templates, you can use them for multiple things. Fox News, US, and let's do this one. You grab that, and now you can come back into your
small business loan fast. I got this. Loan.
Got your autoplay ad in there. I'm going to come down here to build article. Oops, that's not it. Okay, so we're going to do we need a cleanup. And I'm going to do a cleanup with Fox News, no audio with Midjourney image generator. I'm going to put the article in there. Okay. And I'm going to take off Midjourney because I want to see some of these images. So I would put that, maybe that one, and that one. Okay. So it's already pulled based on the scrape. Use AI to clean up. So this is if you're doing one at a time. Wayne and I don't like doing one at a time. So that's why we use RSSMasher.
It's good to so you get a feel of what's going on and how to build your first template, really.
Yep. Rewrite Fox News. Again, you can choose your model in here. I'll just rewrite with 3.5. It's quicker. Now I'm going to take off the Midjourney, but we're going to fix this probably by next week. It will be fixed where you'll have Midjourney and the other images that you're including on a single article rewrite.
For this particular page, if you use the automation from RSSMasher, it does that. But obviously you only get one image unless you clean it yourself, and then you'll get all of them.
Okay, we're going to do a summary. That was 100 words, Fox News, summary article, and we're going to let Rachel read it, create the audio. And here's the beauty about doing one at a time, if you wanted to, is you can actually come in here and change it around, rewrite it. You could rewrite it here, or you can rewrite it in the HTML editor. And that's what I would prefer to do a lot of times. I'm going to include images, but I don't want Midjourneys, okay? Add image citations. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to save new article. Okay, so now I can come over here to my articles, article publisher, my articles, and true crime. And let's come down here and hit edit. Okay, we got the MP3, and this is the actual link to the MP3 right there. Okay, so let's look to see what it looks like. We have true crime author charged with helping death row. We have a good image right here. We have the listen to this article. We have an introduction, very, very short items in here. And we have another image in here. And I may not want to use this image. So this is, okay.
And the other images weren't injected because you didn't have enough text in this rewrite based on your settings.
Yep. And you would set that settings up here.
Yeah.
So I have add article extra images every 7 paragraphs. If I want more images, I would put it maybe down to 5 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs. I kind of like a little bit more content, so I'm going to leave it at 7. Of course, you can set your defaults in there also if you want. Update, finish. And so it's basically ready to go. I've got a voice with it, and now I'm just going to hit finish. Okay. Now I can take that article right now, and let's put it into a Masher site because I want to make sure the audio comes across. Let's ask the guide. This is a consumer news network. That's a good one to. And I'm going to put it into maybe trending news. And when do you want to post this one article? Well, let's do it right now. Let's post it. Okay. Now, when it will come back, and because we're not doing any Midjourneys, we're not going to see any status here. It's ready.
Did you tick the box? Sorry.
Oops.
That's the one.
You can tell how new this is.
There you
Article
go.
set to post. Okay. There it is. Set to post. We'll post soon. Usually it's 3 to 5 minutes, and it will post. And then it will give you a link going over there. And you can here's my VA. He's been working really hard. He's got all these set to post like every 3 days. Really good. These are all ZimWriter articles. I mean, we've got 2,800 items that we're either posting or ready to post. Okay, any questions at this point? I know we've covered a lot. Guys, some of this may be a little buggy for the next couple of days. If you're a beta, please put your tickets into the dashboard in support and let us know what you find that may be a little buggy. We're fixing things. A lot of it is the WordPress issues that we're always dealing with, but some of it is maybe a Midjourney. Maybe it's a prompt or something that we're sending over in Midjourney is not working. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay. So this is one of my Masher sites. It's optimized, it's got ad displays, but true crime author charged with helping death row inmate. And here's
a true crime author has been charged with felony theft by extortion for allegedly helping a death row inmate extort $25,000 from a prison nurse. The inmate, Aubrey Trail, was convicted of murder.
No, it's in a proper site. You can see that it looks more text because it's in less area of the screen.
Was working on a true crime book about the murder and developed a relationship with Trail. He allegedly manipulated the nurse.
So that's why we kind of like this listen to article, because it's long enough. It's about a 30-second. It's long enough to actually skim through the article as the voice is kind of reading the summary of the article itself without actually having to read the article. Give you some good images in here. So you can see we went from a URL posted through Article Reinventor under Article Maker and created an article that went into my articles, and then we published it. Very easy to do. Hopefully y'all are using that. And then it's actually, when you post out of here, it's going to go into the article publisher. We're trying to use this My Articles as the main hub of publishing. And then the other one here is on Article Reinventor is the build article. This is kind of give you a status of where you're at on all the RSSMasher APIs coming across. You can see the ones that we've sent over, Midjourney processing. And so this is just more of a status to know where these articles are at in the processing. All the stuff that we've sent from RSSMasher is sitting in here waiting to process, and once it goes back, it sends it back into RSSMasher. Real nice. It helps you kind of self-assess where those images or where the articles are at in processing. Wayne, anything to add before we head out here?
Just give it a go if you've got both tools.
Yep. And we're going to have some actual workflows in here, and I think I've convinced myself to do another mastermind series on Facebook to kind of teach you how to use the advanced tab to do a little bit of content cleaning. If you're bringing in content from an RSS feed, you're going to get, to me, it seems to make a better article. And it's more of a reader's preference. But the scrape does a decent job also. So we will see you in 2 weeks on another call. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and apologize about it running too long, but when we get geeky, we take our time. Okay. Thank y'all very much, and we'll see you on another call. Bye-bye.
Bye.